Good afternoon. Welcome to another Facebook Live session by SpeakingTree.in. My name is Ishita. So often we are caught in a dilemma as to how to give our best at work, yet retain our humanity and be successful. The world as we know it is undergoing a huge change. Yet how do we embrace our failures as much as we embrace our success? Well, something to ponder about, isn't it? To talk more on success and failures, we have Vikas Jain live with us today. Vikas is a motivational global speaker, an author and founder of Adyan Group. He has delivered programs for various corporations, including Fortune 500 companies like Yamaha, Intel, Uber, etc. He has delivered customized programs on leadership, business transformation, innovation, sales motivation, team building, entrepreneurship, youth motivation, and faculty development in India and abroad. Welcome, Vikas. A very warm welcome to Speaking Tree Live on Facebook. Vikas, I mentioned a little bit about in your bio that success and failure. You do talk a lot about some success and failure, but the irony of life is, Vikas, that everyone wants to be successful in life, yet no one wants to embrace failure. So how difficult is? Why is it difficult for us to embrace failures?
So actually, in my experience, it is that the whole process of tagging something event in your life as failure and success, this is what creates the problem. So it is just an event. So for example, I'm going for an interview and I'm not selected. Should we actually call it failure? We need to think about it, that it's not required. It's just an event. It's just an happening that I was not able to clear that particular interview. But we may not need to tag it with success or failure. So if we don't tag that itself as a failure, then there is no burden on us, because once we put that tag of that it's a failure, it's create a lot of burden. Then we get through all this process of accepting the failure and all those things. But what if we don't even just tag it as failure? So if we just follow this practice that there are certain events in our life which are just happening and they are not success or failure, then it will be much easier to live. There is another thought to it. Whether we tag an event as a success or failure keeps changing. You can have a look in your life right now. So for one particular event, at that particular time, may seem like it was a failure. But after 10 years, you may realize because you failed in that particular event, you get better success opportunities in other fields. So I think first, that we don't need to actually tag it success or failure. It's just an happening in our life and we just need to just flow through it. Second, actually we cannot define what is success and failure. So both ways, be happy and enjoy your life.
Absolutely, because be happy and enjoy your life. Because you also talk about a lot about transformation of the human mind to maximize your full potential. There are studies to prove that we actually don't use full percentage of our brain. We just use 20% of it. So how can one really achieve it? And in both probably personal and professional life, what is really transformation of the human mind?
Okay, so when we talk about transformation of human mind, what is transformation? So transformation, so people usually confuse between what is a transformation and what is a change. Now, in transformation, we step back from that particular event and take a holistic view of the event, that what we want to transform on first hand. So for a change, if I'm in a job or if I'm in a business, if I'm having that change mindset, I'm just talking about I want to adopt this new practice, I want to make change in my job or something like that. But when we say we want to transform our life, it's more holistic. Right. We step back, we look at what we actually want in our life, what is the purpose. And when we step back and get that holistic view, things become more clear in our mind, what we actually want. It may so happen that we want a drastic change in the life. Just to give you an example in the context of job opportunities. It's been 10 years that I was working in IBM. And I was working in the service division of IBM. Now, if I'm thinking of a change mindset, I would like to switch from one service class company to another software company which is into service domain. But because I was looking for transformation in my life, in the context of working as a software engineer, I prepared myself and worked for product companies. Now, people who are in software industry understand the difference between what is a service class company and what is a product company. But through that transformation, I was able to clear the interview of Microsoft. Now it's a big transition. if somebody get that thing. So we need to have that kind of transformation mindset, that what we really want in our life, step back, take a holistic view, and then decide which is the direction that we want to take, and not just day to day life figure out that okay, this is the minor change I want to do, this is the minor change, but those changes may not help you transform. They will be just the change. With the change and transformation, we can achieve whatever we want in our life.
Right. And of course, Vikas is going to be here with us. So please write in with your questions in the comment section, and of course, we'll take them. Vikas, of course, we've spoken about success. So what are the key areas one should really concentrate on if if he or she desires to be successful? And by successful, I just don't mean making money, to successful in all, in relationships, personal life. What are the key areas that one should really concentrate on?
So when we talk about key areas in our life where we should concentrate upon, from the transformation mindset, I would recommend that follow your heart. So it is not that, for example, if I am saying that one should have a great financial life and you're not getting that feeling that I should have a great financial life, it's your individual life. It's your choice. So first start with making a list of what you yourself see as priority in your life. It could be finance, it may not be finance. Broadly speaking, when we say health, wealth, relationship, and spirituality, that is your true self, these are the four broader categories where we need to focus upon. But having said that, with the transformation mindset, it's your life. You need to define what you call transformation, which all are the areas where you want to work upon. And another beauty about it, all these things are interrelated. So it's not that we are just working on money side, we are not working on other side. If you just pick up one aspect of your life and start traversing your life through that one side, you will actually impact all the aspect of your life. Just to give you an example in that respect, if we talk about relationship, and I'm just focused about improving my relationship with each and everything, with that just one word, we can transform every aspect of our life. For example, we may say, what is my relationship with wealth? Now, when I'm saying what is my relationship with wealth, I'm actually transforming my financial life. Right. If I'm saying what is my relationship with my true self, I'm transforming my spiritual life. So with just one particular segment, if I can pick and start traversing my life through that particular point, I think I can, and all of us can transform our whole life.
Great. Vikas, of course, before we go further, please write in your questions and we'll try and take them. Because in the corporate language, if I can say, there's people and managers especially face this dichotomy of, being successful leaders, but at the same time being human. Understanding, empathizing with the employees, and a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people write into us, and I'm sure you also get a lot of clients who face this problem. So how can really one be successful at the same time not compromise on the human aspect of their being?
So if we just look back our life, what we will find that from my childhood through the college education to the initial part of our corporate career, we are forced to live I would say an artificial life, a life of competition. But as soon as we get into the leadership role, at that particular time, our whole expectation from the human gets changed. So what we need to focus upon, that it's not just managing the life aspect from the day one, not just in the corporate world, from the day one, we need to look into ourselves, that what is a human part that exists in me. What I have seen in my experience actually, that all the societal practices are actually killing that part of human side. So what we are saying that, for example, starting from kids, we want them to be the leader, but they don't have much choice. They need to live a life for 15-20 years defined by the societal norms and their parents. So if somebody have lived the initial years in such a constrained environment, can we expect them to be human at the end of the day? So it is too much expectation from them. So what we need to do from the day one, keep that human part alive in yourself. There will always be some struggle between what is the societal expectation, and one has to conquer that. In one of my program, I talked about should. That one initial expectation is I should do it, but it is just imaginary. The second is would, where I am certain that this would happen. But then the true leadership form with the third should. What is that? It is more about that I know this is aspirational, I know the societal constraint, still I will fulfill my dream. And this is what top world leaders are doing. They are fulfilling their dreams with already knowing that these are the societal constraints, and they conquer those constraints. So we can do that, we have that potential, just that we need that mental shift, that do we really want in that, or we are just looking for some hobby sort of thing that we say that we want but we don't want. If we actually want, we can achieve it.
Right. Because, of course, a lot of people think that just because they work very hard, they will be successful. What according to you, are really the pillars of success? Apart from hard work, how can really one maximize himself to a limit that they do very well, whether it's in personal or professional life? And hard work can be one of the pillars. But what do you think are the other pillars, and how can really one achieve that despite, having talent, despite having all the education in the world? Some people complain they're still not successful.
Right. So, in my experience, when we talk about success and achieving massive growth in our life, I say this is comprised of 3 Ds. Now, what are these 3 Ds? First one is your dream. That whatever we want to do, is it actually our dream? Or we are just living someone else's dream? Because if that first point is not clear, that it's not my dream, then whatever I do will not work. So first D is it your dream? That is very crucial. The second part is design. Now what is design? Design is, when we talk about hard work, we always have this counter example of laborers. So these laborers are working day in day out but not getting that kind of success which is achieved by other business people who are owning that business. So design is very important, that whatever action that I am doing, what is the design in life? There are various case studies which have been there. There is a mental map concept, that there are different kind of mental maps. So these super achievers are having certain different mental maps, and we can call them this design thing. So before putting the hard work, we need to have the right design in place. An easy to understand example could be the design of a building. If we put in all the laborers without a good design of the building, they will do hard work for day in day out, but will they achieve what we want to achieve? May or may not be. It could be a building where there is no entry. What we will do? So what we need to think about is, before putting the hard work, first dream, because once you have attached dream to your life, things will become normally, easily and achievable.
Right.
You don't have to actually put that effort. Second is design, and when all these 3Ds are done, then you need to develop yourself. All the big leaders are known for developing themselves. For example, Bill Gates. Bill Gates is known for college dropout, but his personal website is gatesnotes.com, and there is only one menu section on that website, the book that he is reading. Now just imagine a person who is just celebrated as a college dropout and achieving those big things. He is a college dropout, not a learning dropout. And that is the punchline. You can be a college dropout, you can be anything else, but you need not be a learning dropout. You need to keep developing yourself. So once we take care of these 3Ds, which is your dreams, your design, and keep developing yourself, we can achieve all the success that we want in our life.
Of course, and never stop dreaming.
True.
Of course, we're taking questions. Vikas, Karan wants to know, as a leader, if I want to create an environment where motivation can thrive in my team, what is the first thing that I need to do?
The first thing for a leader to keep the environment motivational is to be motivational yourself. What leadership usually have this practice, that when they transition from manager role to leadership role, in the management part, they are just delegating and telling others that this should be the ideal thing. In the leadership role, we need to start living that aspect first. So when your team will see that you yourself is very motivational, you yourself is very inspiring, other people will automatically start following what they are seeing. In my experience, there was one of the CTO in the previous company where I was working. Now the CTO was an avid learner. He would just crack each and everything that he wanted to. Now the whole team has this inspiration that this guy is so inspirational, so learning oriented, then we should also do it. So you don't need to put in quotes when you have a leader who himself is very motivational. So you need to have that enthusiasm within yourself, on your face, on your action, in your words, that you yourself is motivational, then all other things will start following and it will be easier for us.
Great, great. Of course, we have a lot of questions. Tarun wants to know that it is said to achieve big goals, we need to come out of our comfort zones. And, that's probably, we know humanity has a problem coming out of comfort zones. So how can you really suggest simple ways to really get out of your comfort zone? Because, that is the key to being successful and happiness.
True. Actually, I have a counter example. People say that we resist the change.
Right.
But in my seminars, where thousands of people have attended those seminars, whenever I have asked, do you want a bigger house or a bigger car? I have never seen a person deny that. You yourself think just now, if somebody take a survey from people that do you want a bigger house, bigger bungalow or a bigger car, will anybody deny that fact? Most people will say yes. Now that bigger house, bigger bungalow, bigger car is a change, but what we are not resisting that change, and it's a deeper thing. So in my observation, we don't resist the change, we resist the pain during the change. So in this case, what is happening is we are not getting the value, we are not understanding the perceived value that we will get after that change, but we are just focusing upon the pain during that cycle. When we are thinking of a bigger house, there is no pain of going to making that shift from your current house to another house, because that perceived gain of living in that beautiful bungalow is so much that you are not focusing upon the pain. In otherwise our life, we are not having that clarity what we will achieve out of that effort. We are not clear. So we just keep focusing upon the pain during that time. So how you can get out of your comfort zone? Just you need to do one thing. Start first focusing upon what will be the perceived gain after that end. For example, if I want to build my body, I need to understand that what will be the gain after putting those efforts for 6 months, 1 year. Second, how I can reduce the pain during that transition. That can be done. If you start following some great people, if you find right mentors, they will actually help you to reduce the pain. They will actually make that effort of coming out of your comfort zone very easy, because you know what you want to achieve in your life. So all these are all like mostly talked about things that people don't want to come comfort out of their comfort zone. In my experience, it does not exist. It is the motivation, the end value that we want in our life. If we are having that kind of clarity, I think nothing else matters in a life.
Great. Sobia wants to know that what is the mantra to keep oneself motivated daily when one is dealing with adversities? So, if you're going through a low phase, what is that one thing that will keep you going day after day?
Okay. So, I think there are different kind of motivation for different kind of things that we are having or facing in our life. One motivation is related to our spirituality. Now, when we talk about spirituality, I'm not talking about particular religion. What I'm talking about is your purpose. So some people have this attraction or a vague definition that I want to achieve this much in my life. I'm having this purpose in my life. If you're getting that kind of calling, nothing else will work for you. No other motivational thing will work for you. What you have to do is to start living those dreams, even for a shorter duration. For example, if you want to enjoy the music, if you keep on doing anything else, it will not help you. You need to serve your soul, and your soul is looking for that beautiful music. You need to make out time for even half an hour, or even 1 hour in a week, or somewhere in a month. But you need to start serving that kind of motivation part. The other part is solving the problems. So for example, if the road is bad and we keep on saying that we should keep motivated, that is one aspect. The other aspect is, can we make some effort to make that road good, to improve the traffic problem? So that is about solving the problem. You actually don't need to keep yourself motivated around those things. The third thing, that is very easy. It's your life. You need to keep some personal motivators around you. So whenever I do my program, I actually help people to find out their personal motivators. So for example, It may be some saying from your mother. It could be some item from your father. It could be something from your close friend. If you spread your environment with those kind of things, they will keep inspiring you. So what you need to do is to find your personal motivator. So it's a 3-step strategy. One, find your purpose, find your inner calling and start serving your soul. Second, problem solving, that instead of going for motivation, start solving the problems. Third, find your personal motivators, what motivates you, and start spreading your environment with those kind of motivator. I think with these three strategies we can always be motivated in our life.
Right. I think we have enough time to take a couple of more questions. Because Ekta wants to know, in terms of books that you've probably read, can you recommend some books that that people should read to really make a difference in their life? And it could be something you've written also. So I mean, we'd love to know about that as well. So
True.
if you can just mention what are your been in terms of what books have you read that have made a difference in your life?
Okay, so I have been a big promoter for books, so it's quite a long list. So it's very difficult to define that one particular book which has helped me change my life. If you want to read, obviously you can read first, start with my book. So my book title is The Secret Behind Superachievers Self-Education. That what is the mindset behind reading. So one of the book where I get how to stabilize my mind, how to get over my emotional disturbances was the Sedona method. It's not just a book, it's a tool, it's a way of thinking. And if you start following that way of thinking, it is actually going to impact you. The other things are, for example, in entrepreneurship, the Lean Canvas and the Lean Startup is a wonderful book. It's a different way of thinking. We always start thinking from that we should have a longer plan, we should have a long duration, but it is about how to make things quickly, how to test your things quickly. So I think there are going to be a lot of books. What I would recommend is not to go for just one book. First, look out for, this is the strategy which I share with the learners. It's an advanced learning strategy. So what I would recommend, first jot down what is the area of improvement that you are looking for in your life. If you are looking for financial growth, obviously the other thing will not help. So first look out for the area. Second, every speaker, every author has a different style. So there are some people who are more research oriented. Then there are other people who want to make a lot of stories. So you need to find out your taste. So for some same concept, you can have one person who is telling a lot of personal story, and then there is other person who is more talking about the concept. For example, in the financial domain, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's a different thinking mindset. Now, if you read books by Robert Kiyosaki, you will always find that he's sharing a lot of his personal stories, what happened in the war of Vietnam. Now, if you are looking for stories, you will write those kind of books. But if you are looking for more facts or more of other things, I think then you should follow other kind of speakers or the authors. So it's a two-step strategy. First, find out the area of work that you want to improve in your life. Second is to find the right kind of author for your thing. And I think with these days, it has become very easy. You just have to get onto Amazon, and with the artificial intelligence of Amazon, they will start recommending based on your search pattern. So you actually don't have to do anything. Just see the most recommended book, and it will be of your choice.
Right. I think we just have time to take one more question. What Pooja wants to know, what is the most important thing for an organization? What should be the most important thing in terms of its mission and core values? What should really be the core value or vision of an organization in order to be successful?
Okay, so when we talk about the core value of the organization, it is the purpose. That why do they exist? Last week only I had a program in Goa, and there I shared this thing that during a course of action, what we do, an organization is started with a thought process, what they want to achieve, how do they want to impact the society. But after 5 years, 10 years, they start just focusing upon the business operations. So after 10 years, if you ask them what is the organization, probably even the senior leaders will define themselves as the operations that they are doing. Now, an organization is not the operation. Organization is about the why. That why do they exist? So first, an organization need to reinvent why do they exist. I'll give you an example. Now, it was asked from the ex-chairman of Google that who might be your competitor. Now, from our world, we may say that competitor of Google, which is a search engine, would be Bing or some other search engine. But for them, their competitor is not Bing, their competitor is Amazon. Now for us, it will be a weird thing. Why Amazon is a competitor for Google? Now from them, Google is not just a search engine. It's the first thing that comes to your mind when you are looking for something.
Yeah.
And with Amazon, if you want to buy something, you may not go to Google, you may go directly to Amazon. So they see Amazon as a competitor. So I think organization is always having different whys that exist. And if you want to excel and make progress in your organization, you also need to stick to that why of the organization. The more you make yourself closer to the organization's why, your yourself growth will be like skyrocketed and you will achieve a lot more in your life.
I think we're completely out of time, Vikas. Thank you so much. If you want to give, some quick tips on how to be successful, something that you can do probably every day, even if in terms of physical activities like exercise, if you think that's important. So, any quick tips that you can give as a passing, as a closing thought?
True. So there is one mantra which I keep sharing with my friends and other people who are following me. The mantra is called PUBG. Now it's quite kind of weird and people who are not aware of Hindi will find it difficult to understand also. So PUBG is an acronym in Hindi. So what is PA? PA is Pana. That we want to achieve a lot more in our life. So Pana is achievement. Now what is B? B is Banna, is to becoming. And the C is Seekhna, which is learning. So Pa, B, C, which is achievement, become and learning. Whatever we want to achieve in our life, first we need to become that person who can achieve those things. And to become that person, you need to start with learning, continuous learning. In a very short example, if I want to become a person who is earning 5 lakh per month, that is my pana, that is my achievement, that is my dream. I need to become a person who can earn that much. Question yourself, have you focused on becoming that person who can earn that much? Once you start focusing on becoming that person, you have to make yourself updated all the time with attitude, skill and knowledge. So you need to focus upon constant learning cycle. And when you have Pa, Ba, Si, which is Pana, Banna, Seekhna, achievement, becoming and learning, automatically you will achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life. So I think that is one success mantra that drives me, that whenever I am looking for some dream, I directly come out with this word PUBG, that I need to become that person who can achieve that thing, and everything else falls in easily.
Great, Vikas, that was lovely and great closing remarks, PUBG. And I think we'll all remember that. That's all time we have for today. Thank you, Vikas. Thanks for coming. And for your daily dose of spirituality, please keep logging to speakingtree.in. Thank you so much.